man, it had a lot of heart to it, man, because you had a lot of decision making in the process. I got to make the right choices. Everybody got to make the right choices.
Him and Shadow were
Oh,
teleporting around the earth fighting. That was literal Dragon Ball Z style fighting. His grandpa was over 100 years old, bro. He chopped him in the neck. He chopped his 100-year-old grandfather in the neck, bro. I couldn't stop laughing.
Life's all about the choices we make. Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out movie review, and today we are reviewing Sonic 3. Before we get into it, guys, if you haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Sonic 3 was released a couple weeks ago in the cinema. Kiblet had the opportunity to go to all the screenings, there's red carpets and all that sort of stuff, so he saw it a while back. I just had the opportunity to watch it, and this movie is definitely worth a review just because of the way it made us feel. Now, the
yeah.
digital release is scheduled to come out on Tuesday, 21st of Jan. I'm seeing news and reports about that everywhere. So if you haven't seen the movie and you're waiting for the digital release, it should be out within a week from now, I guess. So 21st of Jan. Now, this movie has just hit a billion. Well, not the franchise. This is a billion dollar franchise. With the release of Sonic 1 that came out in 2020, which was about Sonic escaping his homeland and coming into Earth and then meeting all the characters that he has and the family that he lives with, coming across Dr. Robotnik and everything, to Sonic 2, which came out in 2022, where we were really introduced to Knuckles and Tails, and then more
Mm.
adventures with them. And Robotnik come back even stronger with Sonic 3 coming back. It just gets bigger, better, takes the
Mm.
powers to the next level, more characters and more villains. Now, Gibbs, before we get into the full review, I just want to get initial 60-second thoughts on Sonic 3 and how it made you feel.
Listen, man, fun adventure with some quirky moments. It was a good fun time in the cinema, bro. Like, when you're sitting there and you're like, this is just really good to see a game translated better than most movies that are from a game world, where it does concentrate on those main characters and it's fun and the human elements there, but not as big. Like they've adapted this really well. It's this fun take on this character, and it was good fun. I had really good fun in the cinema, bro. I laughed. I continuously. Jim Carrey destroyed me in that movie. He is so good. Like he's in his element. I love it. It was good fun, man. What about yours?
Yeah, yeah, same thoughts, man. I went in with just like normal expectations. One and two were just fun, easy watches, good
Yeah,
laughs from Jim Carrey. His performance is the best. I mean, I honestly, I feel like I go to the movie for him. Actually, the villain. I'm more interested in the villain and Jim Carrey's performance than anything else. But the movie itself is great. All the characters are great. And this movie just didn't disappoint. And with new characters
100%.
coming in, it was absolutely fun. I was giggling, smiling throughout the whole movie. So just it's they like you said, they've done a great job in regards to adapting a movie, a video game into a movie. And we'll get into that on our thoughts on why that later. And I think I got some couple of thoughts around that. Just to get into the quick synopsis of Sonic 3, and I'm just gonna read off my notes here.
Go
So
on.
Sonic 3 continues the adventure of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles as they face their greatest challenge yet, the rivalry of Shadow, the Hedgehog, and a mysterious and powerful rival created by the government. As Sonic learns more about Shadow's tragic past, the Chaos Emeralds become central to the battle of Earth's fate. Meanwhile, Dr. Robotnik returns with his grandfather, with a sinister plan, forcing the heroes to team up. The film combines high-stake actions, humor, emotional depth, expanding the Sonic universe while staying true to the game roots. Let's get into the cast, crew, and performance. Got to give a shout out to everyone. So, directed by Jeff Fowler, who's done the
Yep.
previous Sonic movies. He's done the Knuckles TV show, which I haven't seen yet, so I need to go back and watch that.
I need to watch that
Um,
as well, definitely. I haven't
definitely.
seen that either.
Yeah, because we'll get into Idris Elba in a second, but him as Knuckles is awesome. Writing credits goes to Pat Casey, who's screenplay,
Hmm.
Josh Miller, screenplay, Whittington, sorry, screenplay, Pat
Hmm.
Casey and Josh Miller with the story. Now, let's get into the cast and let's get into story performances as well. Jim Carrey, like
Mm.
for me, this guy he played. He played two characters. He played Ivo Robotnik and General Robotnik. Right, he played his grandfather as well. His performance was just his performance has always been good in these movies. Outstanding in this one, man. This guy reminded me of it was like Three Stooges. It was like Laurel and Hardy. It was
Mm.
absolutely hilarious. Bro, I'm gonna talk about now, man. That scene at the end, I couldn't stop laughing when he had this beef with his grandfather, and the way he flicked him in the throat, where he chopped him in the throat. Sorry, when he was like, "Look over there," and chopped his grandfather in the throat. But I couldn't stop laughing in the cinema. And then after the movie was done, I just had giggles the whole time because I'm like, his grandpa was over 100 years old, bro. He chopped him in the neck. He chopped his 100-year-old grandfather in the neck, bro. I couldn't stop laughing. It was the fact that he was over 100 years old and he went chop. It was too much. I couldn't stop laughing, man. It was the funniest thing ever. I'd be sitting on the toilet, I'd be laying in bed, and I'm like, he was 100 years old. How could you chop him in the neck? Funniest thing I've seen, man. Like I said, like Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy type sort of performances.
Yeah.
He's outstanding. I mean, I don't know how much more praise to give him, but just to see him back in this franchise, I heard that he's already like saying, "I'll be up for coming back for number four." This franchise will not be any good without Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. I'm
100%.
pulling it out there. Without him, you lose. That's my opinion. What do you think of Jim, man? I mean, the guy's a
Listen,
legend.
man, got to be in the presence of Jim. That's crazy. Like, when you're in the vicinity of being around kind of like legends, he's one of them, bro. Like the guy is, he's one of them out now, he's one of them outspoken people, and an advocate of it as well. He's an artist as well. He created like he's awesome in this, bro. It's like old Jim Carrey. Like some of the scenes, like bro, that part when he's watching the Spanish show and then playing on his belly and that he screams. His screams are the best, bro. I don't think there's any better screams uh from any actor
Him
except
and Will
Jim
Ferrell.
Carrey.
Will
Him,
Ferrell
yeah,
has good.
him and Will
Yes,
Ferrell, I got to
he
say,
has
have the
good
best
screams.
screams in Hollywood. Put them in a horror movie. Put them in a funny horror movie where they're getting chased and screamed at. Like I'd love that. But Jim Carrey he's on his A game in this one. Bless him, man. He's really good at what he does. He really knows like the comedic timing. Like with Jeff directing this, this must have been really tough to not keep a straight face because there are moments like he does this thing where he uses Sonic's like one of the hairs, and he does this drug thing where he's like, ah, I don't know why I
Yeah.
find that funny. Like it's so random as well. And then his granddad does it as well. There's this scene where they're fighting each other, where they turn into like this the mantis and the other thing, and like
The
he
crab or something.
snaps his mustache, and he was like elderly abuse, and I was cracking up, and I was like, what the hell is this? Uh, Anyway, look, there are some really good key moments in that film, which was a good laugh, like really good. And the fact that, when I took Alara to the screening, now she's a big Sonic fan as well, that she really enjoyed the silliness of Dr. Robotnik as well. So like he connected. So really good.
So good. I mean, I think from the video game, just seeing Dr. Robotnik's technology and just the way he looks, I feel like Jim Carrey just found a way to bring that character out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's being silly because of the sake of turning this character silly. There was something in that video game where it's kind of like, this guy does have a crab arm and it evolves into this and that. And Jim Carrey just found a great way to just express that character.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely hilarious. Like I said, to me, it's like new age, like I say, Charlie Chaplin, Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, that type of. I mean, I know he's by himself, but when I saw him with his grandfather, or when I saw him acting with himself, fighting himself, that was just like Laurel and Hardy, man. It was absolutely hilarious, man. He's the best. He is the best. Moving on to Ben Schwartz as
Yeah,
Sonic. Now he's played Sonic. I think with him, his development with the voice. I mean, it's the same voice, but I think he's just found a way to just bring this character alive with Sonic. You
100%,
know what I
bro.
mean? With that personality.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like it goes a lot way, right? The animation is one thing and all that sort of stuff, but just bringing that voice alive, I'm pretty sure he has a lot. He brought his personality alive. You know what I mean? He had a job to bring the personality life of a character from an old video game, that was brought out on back in Mega Drive days and whatnot. And I think he's done a great job to make him lovable. You know what I mean? Such a lovable, positive sort of guy. Has his faults, and we'll talk about that in the story as well. Has a certain determination, where I think what we'll talk about in the story, but he was able to find those characteristics and bring them out with his voice
Yeah.
acting.
100%, 100%. I think Ben's great. I would have loved to interviewed him, you know that. I would have loved to interviewed him just to kind of say, what's the process of trying to find a character's voice? Like, I'm just making an example, and I know it's Paramount as well, but Transformers 1, when Chris Hemsworth, you're playing the beginning of this character, so you're finding a different voice for him then towards it coming up to Optimus Prime and that sort of Peter Cullen's voice. So you're like, another little, if you didn't know, Peter Cullen did the Predators sound and voice as well. So him finding that voice and like trying to find that kind of kiddish vibe to it. It's interesting. Very cool. He's a cool guy, man. His interviews, I've watched some of his interviews talking about playing this beloved character. That's an epic honor in itself, man. So awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, definitely. I think he was great, bro. Found this. He's got a good voice. He's got a good voice.
Definitely. I think I also what I find it interesting is that, and I didn't play all the Sonic games. I played the beginning, but I was the original Mega Drive, it was the original one, man. Not Mega Drive. It was before that. Master
Master
System.
System? Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't speak. Like, Sonic never spoke. You know what I mean? Like video games these days, the characters speak, so you kind of get an idea as an actor if you're gonna play him. Like, okay, this is the tone of him from the video games. How do I, keep it the same but make it my own? This is like I have got nothing to go off in regards to voice. You've got old cartoons and stuff like that, but
Exactly.
bringing it to the big screen is the first time from the most video game. I think he found a great way to bring him alive. A new addition to this was Keanu Reeves' Shadow. And Keanu Reeves, obviously, he's another legend. His voice acting as well. There's something about him, man. There's just this huskiness about his voice, this calmness, this calm melody about his voice, which just suited Shadow so much. I think the darkness of Shadow, Shadow's animation and then his looks just suited Keanu's voice. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I thought Keanu just done another great job with just voice acting and bringing that character alive and not. Keanu's got this thing as well. Like I have to be honest. Like you could kind of think his voice is boring to do a voice acting, but with Shadow, he really brought him alive. Yeah, it worked.
Yeah,
man.
he brought that character to life. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's weird when you say that.
It made him feel like it made him feel like, and we're going to talk about Shadow's character later, but he had pain. Shadow had a lot of pain, and Keanu was able to bring that out of the character.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Very good, man. Keanu Reeves, another legend. Man, I was in the vicinity of that dude as well. That is insane as well, bro. Like, honestly, I cannot think of anything cooler than, listen, meet and greets, amazing. Quick selfie, amazing. Vicinity, still amazing. You're like, man, I'm like 5 foot away from this guy. This is insane. Like some legends up in the room, man, I've got to say. But him as Shadow, I got to say, bro, it connected. It made me feel sad as well. There's a moment, that quote, about it shine a light that still, I'm going to butcher it. A light that still shines even though it's dying. Does that make sense?
Yes, a star. Yeah. What do you say? A star that still shines even though
You
it's
know what? I
dead.
need to find that
Because it
quote.
died.
And even though it's dead, yeah.
Yeah, because it was something to do. Yeah, because it got to do with the star. Yeah. When the star dies, we still see the light. It takes years for it to come for us to see it. But
Hold
the
up,
quote,
man.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We're getting into the science of it, but it was beautiful.
No, I love it. It's so good, man. Like I really, I think Keanu, the guy gets a lot of hate for the way he acts and the rest of it, but I think that guy got so much charisma, so much like from Bill and Ted to what he's doing now to make these great franchises, to join these great franchises. He's amazing.
Who the
Hands
hell
down, the
hates?
guy's amazing.
Who the hell hates on Keanu Reeves, bro? If you hate Keanu Reeves, there's something's wrong with you, man. I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with you. And not only is he a great actor, and yes, he has his style, which works for him with The Matrix, with John Wick, with Shadow. Like he makes it work. I think he picks casts or movies or whatever that makes it work.
Yeah.
But he's a great human being. You've seen so much great things he does as human beings. You see him on riding public transport and giving his seat up for pedestrians and stuff like that. He's a freaking nice guy. If you hate Keanu, then there's something wrong with you, man. Um, Talking about legends, though, another legend you want of the vicinity in the vicinity of with is Idris Elba, who played
Oh,
Knuckles, and we got a lot more expression from Knuckles on this one, and got to know Knuckles a bit more compared to what we had him in the second one, which was a bit more. He was a bit more of a rival, and he
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
and whatnot. Whereas in this one, he was on the team, so we got to know him, his character a little bit more. Again, Idris Elba, I think you said this. He's just got this great way of like Knuckles has these great one-liners, you said,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just Albert just a great way of pulling those out. Now I need to go back and see the Knuckles show because I think it'll give
Mm.
us a bit more of it because I love this character in this movie, so I need to go back and watch that show. But he was brilliant in this as well.
You know what? That was the first thing I came out of the screener with Lara. One of the PR people jumped at me quickly and said, like, anyway, shout outs to Substance Global. And I think it was Shelley who jumped out at me and said, Kids, what did you think? And like, everything was great. Like I said, the movie's great, great fun, great action. But Idris really stood out for me. His one-liners made me crack up as well because he's still learning. He's
Mm.
still learning about family and love and being part of something. The guy came from he's what was it, a kinder warrior.
Yeah,
My teeth are muscles. Like just
he
little
has
things like
this.
that. But he's still learning. You know what I mean? And I like that the fact that he can still bring that to that. Like I'm not scared, but then he is scared. Uh,
Yes.
nah, bro. Idris is awesome. Idris is awesome as the Knuckle. I think I couldn't think of anybody else. Like when you see casting like this. You're like, who else could have played this better?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like I feel like a bit of a Drax from this character of Knuckles that you put out.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like just
exactly.
everything is literal to him. Like with Drax, you can't. There's no metaphors or none of that stuff. It's all literal, and I feel like
That's so
Knuckles the
good.
same. Yeah. So that's what I felt from. That's why he's so lovable because he has those one-liners which stick with you. You know what I mean? Because he's such a literal character.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no, exactly.
Idris was able to pull that out wicked. Such a great character. And after, like I said, I haven't seen the Knuckles show, but I'm gonna go back and watch it because of this. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? It's
yeah,
like
exactly,
it's pulled me
100%.
back to say, all right, go watch the Knuckles show. Um, and then lastly, Colin O'Sh. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher her surname, man. Shugnesi. Forgive me, I butchered her name, but Colleen O. Shugnesi played
Okay.
Tails, and
Yep.
she, I think who was it? I think it was one of the other actors. It was what's his name? Lee Madub actor, Agent Stone. He said it, I think, when they were together in that cave. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put out there and say, you're just cute. And I think he's right. Tails
You're
is
adorable.
cute.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah,
adorable.
you're
Yeah, yeah.
adorable. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she does a great job with Tails, man. I think Tails is that adorable. Tails is that the bond between the three. You know what I mean? Like the glue between those two,
100%.
the
Yeah,
piece
yeah, yeah,
between
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Trying
yeah.
to like, oh come on, guys, let's be cool, like type of guy. So Tails was awesome.
No, definitely, without a doubt. Exactly that. I think is you've put in the exact like the right format is that she is the glue between those two characters and brings everything together. It is more of a friendship and a team, you know what I mean? Uh yeah, she absolutely great. There's moments in there where she's the gadget girl as well, isn't it? So that's amazing as well.
Yes.
That she's like the tech guy. She's like the guy in the seat, you know what I mean?
Guy in the
So
seat,
like
yeah.
yeah, so very, very cool. She's a crucial part to Sonic's adventures. So
Oh
to have
yeah.
Tails come in the first one, remember at the end when Tails came in, you get excited. You're like, oh my god, they're actually bringing these characters alive. And not that you're introducing them really well to the new audience that you're doing it. Because I think now I'm starting to see things through fresh eyes right now. Sonic came out 20, 30, 40 years ago. 30, let's say 35 years ago. 30, I'm going to say 30 anyway. Sega, you bring this character out. I sometimes still play this game. I got a little device that I play it on, or we play it on the TV. She never understood it, but she still tried to get involved. But now you've introduced it to a new audience where she loves every single character. She's drawing them
Mm,
now, bro. So
yeah.
like it's amazing to see that generation still seep through to this generation to say, you know what, I gotta give Jeff and the crew thanks because now I share something with my daughter and my kids. You know, what I mean, Idris as well. Idris absolutely loved it as well. So like, that's an amazing thing to pass that down to generations. It's like how our fathers and uncles passed it down to us as well. You know, what I mean, they maybe not like the fact that they passed that down to us, but I was like, that's cool stuff, man. Like, I love it. Absolutely love it. No, it's
Yeah.
good.
Definitely. I
Tails
mean,
is awesome.
our introduction was through the video game, and their introduction is through the movie. So they're really getting to know the character rather than just Prince A, B, and C and Star and the Chi and
Exactly.
whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're getting to know the characters from a character level. And I'll be honest with you, I'm getting to know the characters from a character level now because of what these guys have done. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not just the video game that we used to play from back in the day. Do you remember? Just off topic, when back in there we used to play and we used to jump high and we used to move our whole bodies with the thing like it was some kind of
With the pad.
yeah, with the controller. It's crazy but how we used to do that. Nowadays you can use it with the virtual reality shit and actually probably do that. And but back in the days I remember that, man. Well, quickly finish off with the cast. James Marsden plays Tom, Tika Sumpter plays Maddie,
Mm.
Lee Madobe plays Agent Stone, who all have come back. They were all repeating cast. And then this is a new cast, right? Kristen Ritter, she comes as director of Rockwell. It's the first time I've seen
Yeah,
her in the
yeah, yeah. That's
franchise,
right.
right?
She's new to it as well. So,
She's new to it.
uh,
So great to have them all back. I feel like this is another universe they've created, a franchise. It's $1 billion franchise. They're making the monies, man. So
shout outs. That's amazing.
definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing more because there will be more. So let's get into the plot overview. Like I said, I don't think I said it from the beginning, but this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie, well, hopefully you have. If you haven't seen the movie, then you've come too far. So you might as well just watch the rest
Yeah.
of this review. But high level summary of the storyline, bro. And then like let's talk about some of the new characters. We just spoke briefly about Shadow, like where he fits in, the plot development, and then some of the key themes of this movie, man. Because there was like friendship, teamwork, and obviously adventure. And then I put this down, moral compass from Mr. Dr. Robotnik at the end. So like the movie,
Grief,
obviously,
grief as well. Grief as well.
grief as well, yeah, grief, and even like trauma,
Yeah.
like they always bring these sort of things in because I guess for me personally the whole movie revolved around Shadow. When I say
Mm.
that, it was his character that we're trying to get to know. It was his pain that we were getting, that which was kind of running the story, I would say, which was what Sonic's is positive character, man, that's always trying to
Mm.
find the best in people. And Shadow's pain kind of led him down a wrong path, you know what I mean, and wrong influences and all that sort of stuff. And it was Sonic that ultimately was able to bring him back to who he was, which is not a bad guy, he's a good guy. But it's the stuff that went through because his friendship with the girl, Robotnik's granddaughter, and then the death of her, which is what led to his kind of demise of being a bad guy and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say that Shadow, like I say, it was a big part. When I say it was a big part of the movie, I think like when I came out of the cinema, it was like I felt for him most because of
Mm.
what he went through. You know what I mean? Because this was deep. This wasn't just another villain coming. It wasn't just he was made. It was like this character went through a lot of stuff, and Keanu was able to bring that out of him. And whatnot. And then you get introduced to Robotnik's grandfather, who was around in Shadow's time as well, which I thought was
Yeah.
which was a good take, which is a fun take. I don't know if Robotnik did have a grandfather in the video games, but that was fun. Um,
They've adapted it well, and I think for them to uh expand on the universe of Sonic, they've done pretty well. I gotta say, it didn't throw me off or anything like that. It added, as you said, extra. I mean, Jim Carrey doubled up his work on that one.
definitely, I agree. And I think even with Jim Carrey's character, so Robotnik and his grandfather. First of all, the reunion they had and like all the years they missed and they tried to catch up. That was hilarious when they did that through AI and everything. Just a hilarious scene. But the friendship that Jim Carrey built with his agent, or he had with his agent, which we didn't know. And like I said, the moral compass. When he found out what his grandpa was trying to do,
Mm.
and you find out Robotnik is that he's not trying to blow up the Earth and kill the Earth. He just wants to run it, right? Still an evil
Yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah. He wants to run
But
things. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, why are you gonna blow something up and you're not able to lead it or run it or whatnot? That's what he wants to do. But just to see him like switch like that. Now, I don't think it turns him into a good guy. I think his agenda is always going to be, I want to rule the world with unlimited power.
yeah.
But you saw a different side of Robotnik. when it came down to it, right? When it came down to the destruction of Earth, he was like, no, no, no,
Exactly.
this ain't me. And I think that just kind of teaches us a lot about the character villains in general, you know what I mean? Because he was just a pure villain in one and two. Now he was like, he's a villain, but he's got some kind of principles behind him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
villain with a moral compass at the end. And I thought, again, done well. I want to see more. Robotnik doesn't die. I mean, look, let's be real. Like at the end, the explosion happened. Robotnik doesn't die. He finds a way to survive. He always will. But I do think it was a nice touch when he called his agent Stone a friend because that guy loved him from the beginning. That guy was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
ride
yeah.
or die,
From
bro.
day dot, man. The goat milker. Uh,
Yeah, bro.
yeah. I can't believe that. That is hilarious. But yeah, Stun plays a key part as part of the friendship. Again, the glue that keeps them together, and going like that's his moral compass. That was his moral compass when he was like, I tried to warn him.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
he warned me, but
he had no one that loved him. That was another thing. Well, Butnick had no one that loved him, no family or
yeah,
nothing, right? And his grandfather, when he came, that was something there. They was like, oh, finally, I've got family, I've got someone. And Agent Stone's kind of like, I've always been here for you. And I think you
yeah,
come to
yeah.
realize at the end, I think you come to realize at the end, it's like that he is my family. He's always been there for me.
You
Like
always
thick and
do,
thin.
bro. You always do. Like you realize, and that's in any type of friendship. Like there are people there for you, and you don't realize it. People always checking in on you, uh, just making sure you're okay and the rest of it. So I like that element to it because we have that in real life, and sometimes we don't see it. When it's too late, we notice it and say,
Mm.
"Oh my God, thank you for all the time that you put into me." You know what I mean? So you don't realize that, and it was a nice touch. It was actually, I'm glad that they put that in the movie. It's a really nice touch to say, I've always had somebody there. You know what I mean? My sickle friend.
Yeah, exactly. And I know this film touches so much on friendship because coming to the
Mm.
main characters, right? Sonic, Knuckle, and Tails. I mean, their friendship was at jeopardy a little bit as well because of,
Yeah.
sorry, of Sonic's, I guess it was anger because, what's his name? His, Tom, Shadow, kind of batters Tom. Tom almost kind of dies, goes in the coma. And Sonic, rather than relying on his friends, rather than turning to his friends, he allows the anger to, I wouldn't say turn against his friends, but go against them, like go
Mm.
against the teamwork and all that sort of stuff. Now Sonic does have a little bit of, and I think this is great. This movie kind of showed it. There's a little bit of, I'm the best, right? I'm the fastest. I'm this.
Mm.
Me, right? And I think by the end of the movie, it's like, it's team. There's no me. There's no I
Yeah,
in
yeah,
team,
yeah, yeah.
right? It's one of those sort of things. And I think he come to discover that when his team had his back, right? When he left because he was angry and he went to get at Shadow after Shadow battered Tom, his team came back for him. His team saved him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like when
No,
he
that's right.
at the end when they were in space and the ship blew up or whatever and Sonic's flying back into Earth, his team was there and he come to realize without them he wouldn't be alive. He wouldn't be able to accomplish anything. He wouldn't have been able to stop Robotnik without because he ended up teaming up with Shadow. And I think he come to realize like it's not just all about me. You know what I mean? I can't just think
Mm.
I'm the best. Everyone here had like I need my team for us to make this happen. Um
100%.
so yeah, I mean plays a lot of friendship and everything. And then I feel like the movie kind of teaches kids as well, like because it's a kids movie, but it's an adult movie too, right? But with kids to go, I think it teaches them that value of friendship. And if something goes wrong, always come back to your friendship. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
100%.
And
Yeah.
and I know as kids, listen, you as kids, friendship is just playing and all that sort of stuff. But as you grow older, man, friendship just becomes so much more valuable. Your circle reduces in size, happens naturally and whatnot. But the friendship you have with people is just so valuable. It's like family. I still use the word friendship, but it's beyond that. It's like family and stuff.
Mm. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we went into the story and whatnot, but that was overall the story. I mean, Shadow's trying to get revenge on the Earth. Dr.
Hmm.
Robotnik's grandfather wants to join in with that revenge because what were they trying to do? I'm trying to remember in the lab. His granddaughter died because the army were trying to control Shadow, right? And use
Yeah,
his
yeah, that's right.
power. And then they ended up shooting at Shadow, and then it blew up something, and then the granddaughter died. So it was kind of like a big revenge story
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
definitely a big
original.
revenge story. Yeah, definitely a big revenge story. Uh, Revenge, yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Where it can take you, what you can become of it when you realize it's never too late because you always make the right choices. Again, this movie was about choices. Uh, and I love that. It gives you a message. I mean, Alara says it now, Daddy, make sure you make the right choice before you pick up that chocolate bar. You know, little things like that. If they could pick that up, it's so true. Like it's uh if you could add an element to bringing something to the table for adults and kids, you've done that. And I think that's an amazing thing to do. So definitely. I think this is a good, fun story with a lot of stuff, bro. Adventure, action. I mean, you talk about the action, bro. The action was insane, man. That last scene,
Yeah, well, let's
Super
get into it.
Saiyan, what?
Let's get into visuals, animations, and action. I mean, you just said it,
Oof.
man. Like I had that noted down. Like literally Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan style freaking action, man. It was absolutely awesome, bro. That last scene, I was like, this is Dragon Ball Z. They have done Dragon Ball Z style fighting before we ever got a Dragon Ball Z real life animation, live action, bro. It
Live
was
action, yeah.
brilliant. I just came out there. You told me this before I watched it, but I came out there. I was watching it, and the way they were teleporting, him and Shadow were
Oh,
teleporting around the earth, fighting. That was literal Dragon Ball Z style fighting. It was absolutely awesome. I hope. Listen, on a separate note, I hope someone does that movie. But I mean, the animation and whatnot in this movie was just fantastic. Like I think
so good.
the reason why this movie works as a video game is because one, they listen to the fans, right? We always remember what happened when that first ever trailer came out and that Sonic looked boss up. And then they redone him, right? So that was the first thing. So shout out to the studios for taking that feedback and doing that. Two, I think because they're not trying to make Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and Shadow everyone looking to look real. The humans are the
Yeah,
humans. They are this animation. They don't look like a like realistic animation. They look like
yeah,
animation, right? And it
yeah.
works so freaking well.
So
I
good.
have to say, one of the standout scenes, apart from the Dragon Ball Z one, because that's the best. That was the best thing I've seen. But that chase scene with Sonic when he was chasing Shadow in Tokyo, and Shadow having his bike and his gun, bro, that was just,
That was
I
like
don't
an
know,
Akira moment, right?
it
Like
was
when he did
so
that
good.
Akira skid, I was like,
That's
that
it.
was an insane scene, bro. Like it's like it works so well with you. I kind of thought. I remember when I watched the first movie, the first Sonic, and I was like, oh man, this. Even after they fixed the graphics, it may not work. Yeah, like I didn't think it would work. It worked so well, man. And then we got the second one, and I was like, bro, they've got a bit grander in what they did. The emerald and
Yeah.
and then this one, they just went even bigger with the action, bro, man. I just feel like it, the spins and the running and, Shadow shooting gun and stuff. I was like, what? This is sick. I love this. Like, I don't even know if he shot I can't remember if he had a gun in the in the game,
I
but
think it
I know in
did.
the
Yeah,
newer
yeah,
versions,
yeah.
I've seen it, but like I was like, this is like really good fun action, man. And they really they gave him that John Wick feel to it. It's crazy to say
That
that, but they
scene.
gave Keanu Reeves that John Wick feel to it, definitely.
With that beginning scene when Shadow was first released and he's walking in Tokyo in the rain, that literally looked like a John Wick scene.
I
But
think
you're
that
right,
was a little tribute, definitely. That
that
was a
had to be.
tribute.
That had to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
look, like the action you mentioned was apart from the Dragon Ball season was absolutely fantastic, man. It was just so good. I mean, the way it's done so well, where like I said, as adults, I could be entertained, man. I'm like, this is freaking cool, man. The way that they've set it up and they've expressed that power, that hedgehog power, is freaking fantastic, bro. I loved it, man. It was so good. And now animation's on point. I feel like this is something where, like I said, they kept them as animation and the humans as humans. So there's no, I don't see any fault in the animation. You know what I'm trying to say? Because if you try
no,
to make it
exactly.
real life like you did in Lion King or something like that, like a real life hedgehog, you're gonna be like something. It will look off. This is
Yeah,
like
but that's what they tried.
fantasy. Yeah,
That's what they tried. You look at that original trailer. They
Oh my
tried to
God.
make that Sonic like real, like Hedgehog. It's like,
That would
even
have
the
been a
spikes look
That would have been
different.
a
Oh,
great
bro,
question. If you spoke to the director, that'd be a great question. Like, what was your thought process behind that? And when you got the feedback, how did you know what I mean? How did you take that feedback? How did it make you feel? And then how did you get eventually come to a point saying, all right, guys, that's great feedback, we're gonna take it. But how did that initially make you feel after, putting that out there and then getting that kind of feedback and then ultimately leading to a $1 billion franchise? You know what I mean? Like
listen,
failures to success. It's like, well, it's a great success story.
100%. I think this is how you take on constructive feedback. This is the pure example of suddenly saying, I'm going to fight the studio to say, listen, man, if the fans are saying this, we've done something wrong, and I'd like to rectify that. Even if it's a couple of months delay, uh, look, man, you guys have made your money anyway. Cover the costs. You know what I mean? Like, that's constructive feedback and braveness of him to take it on to the studio and say, listen, let's rework this again because if the fans are saying this, if we release this movie in the next month or two, when I can't remember when it was scheduled to, it's not going to work.
Mm.
We're going to get destroyed. And I think that's brave. I'm going to make this a clip and I'm going to tag Jeff because I think uh, what he did was brave. I think what the studio did was brave as well. Uh, it's such a big risk when you do that. You know what I mean? Listen, man, Paramount, I got to say, are one of the companies that take big risks. Yeah. And I know they're going through quite a lot at the moment now. But look, man, you waited on Top Gun Maverick and Tom waited on that, said, I don't want it on streaming. Please wait.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that billion, more than a billion. You know what I mean? The movie's
Mm-hmm.
great as well. So like, I think this is one of the studios, and this is out of all the other movie studios. You got the big ones, but I think this is the only other studios that takes a lot more risks in what they're bringing out there. So definitely shout out to them, man.
Definitely, definitely. Think about it, man. It's $1 billion franchise. If you did it, I can only imagine if they just were like, no, we're going out with this, where they would have lose, man. You never know. But that I would love to hear their thoughts on that. I don't think I don't know if anyone's asked them, but I would love to hear them thoughts on just overcoming those adversities and making this into a success. Um, well, let's move into the Easter eggs and game reference because there's a lot of them in here. Shout
Definitely.
outs to Game Raiders, The Verge, Polygon, and Hardcore Game, who put these out there and found these on the internet. So I've taken it from them. So first of all, Prison Island. The film opens with Shadow, the hedgehog held captive on Prison Island. Direct reference to levels of Sonic Adventures 2. Chaos Garden, a fan favorite feature from the Sonic Adventure series, is
Very cool.
reimagined as a Chuck E. Cheese like venue where Sonic and his friends gather complete with the extensive child merchandise. That was funny when they were calling Thing a Pokemon. What's his name? Tails a
Tails.
Pokemon. That was really cute. That was really good. I like that. That was funny. That scene was awesome as well. Live and learn. What's it say? Motif. The film incorporates Live and Learn, the icon theme from Sonic Adventures 2, as a recurring music motif, accumulating in its full rendition during the climax. Shadow's firearm. So Shadow wields a gun in the movie, a nod to his portrayal in the 2005 game Shadow the Hedgehog, where he's known for using his firearm. End stage goal sign. So a scene featuring the iconic end stage goal sign were from the classic Sonic game spin to revealing different character faces, signaling the end of a level. Eggman's ringtone. So Dr. Robotnik's phone ringtone is a retention of Green Hill Zone theme, a subnodal to the original game's first level, which
Yep.
is an epic tune. Sonic snowboarding. Sonic snowboarding is sequenced down a mountain terrain mirrors the city escape level from Sonic 2 Adventures, where a similar boarding scene occurs.
Isn't that
Uh,
number two?
that might have been number two, actually.
I
That might
think
have
that
been
was
a
number
mistake.
two. Yeah, that was
You're
number
right.
two.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I can't
He
even
was
think of the
saving
snowboard
Tails. I
scene.
remember that. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
number
All
two.
right.
But still,
That was a mistake. Number two.
that was
Anyway,
a good that was a good scene.
that was a good scene. Gun G-Wen introduction. So the Guardian units of Nation, a military organization from the game, play a significant role in this film, aligned with their involvement of Sonic Adventure 2. We didn't speak about that, but that was Christine's role as the general. That
Yeah,
was that
yeah,
gun
that's right. Yeah,
organization.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we didn't speak about. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sonic's air necklace. Sonic briefly dons an air necklace resembling the one from Sonic Adventure 2, which allows him to breathe underwater in the game. Was he wearing that in this? I can't remember that. I'm thinking if that's another Sonic 2 reference.
That
And
could be
then
another Sonic too.
Pumpkin Hill. Maybe these are from the all the films rather than just the third
Okay,
one.
cool.
Maybe, I don't know. Pumpkin Hill reference. Knuckles mentions a place called Pumpkin Hill, referencing a level from Sonic Adventure 2, known for his distinct theme and music. And then end credit scene. We had two. So first of all,
Yes.
Shadow survives the explosion and flies back to Earth, setting him up to appear in Sonic 4. So there's a scene right at the end where Shadow's shoe kind of steps into the crater with his hand reaching out to pick up one of the rings that he had. His design looked awesome.
So good. So good.
So he had because I think he took off the rings during the battle, and
Yes.
then he come to pick that up. So that was awesome. And then they introduced a new character, Amy Rose, who I am not familiar with, to be honest with you, because I haven't played the Sonic games, or followed them. Amy Rose saved Sonic from an army of Metal Sonics. Fans immediately recognized her by the pink hair and hammer. So I believe she's from the newer Sonic franchise. So
Yes,
that's
definitely.
what number 4 is going to introduce that. It's such a big universe. I can't wait to eventually, when all of these lot just team up and have a badass battle, man, because saying that in this film, there was a great scene between Shadow, Tails, and Knuckles. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails fighting Shadow. Great. But the end battle was just Sonic and Tails. Sorry, Sonic and Shadow. One day when they build up this whole universe with all these hedgehogs, bro, they're gonna have a big ass battle against something, and it's gonna be epic. So I'm looking
No,
forward to that.
definitely, definitely. Because like I feel like listen, it still follows the same formula as the two movies before it. Yeah. A lot of heart, a good beginning part of the story, introduce new characters, a lot of heart, and then come with a big, finale. But it's like, movies keep growing bigger and bigger. And I feel like this ending was like, man, it had a lot of heart to it, man, because you had a lot of decision making in the process. I got to make the right choices. Everybody got to make the right choices. At the end of that movie, if you saw every single character in there ended up making the right choices. Stone calling Robotnik saying, look, something's wrong. Uh, Robotnik chopping his 100-year-old granddad in the neck and then, you know, uh, saving the world. Sonic, Emerald, power, he did the power thing almost, Shadow was like, go on, do it right here, heart. That reminded him.
Mm.
Knuckles, same thing, you know what I mean? Like, even though he's like, I'm an Akunda warrior, the guy still got love, man, and he still works together as a team. So much to it, bro. And I love those little subtle details, and it's like weird. Like, as we get older, we notice more and more of it, and it's really, really like good. So definitely, very good, bro. Very good. I enjoyed it
Yeah,
fully.
yeah. We've kind of gone into like final thoughts, critiques, like recommendations. I don't see. I mean, what you pointed out was awesome. I forgot about some of those points, but each one of those points of making the right choice at the end of the
Mm,
day, be it your the heroes or the villains, everyone has a choice to make, which could kind of lead you into a certain direction and whatnot. It could lead Sonic possibly could have made a choice that would have led him to become a villain, and Robotnik
yeah,
made a choice which kind of made him a hero at the end a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
So it's a great point. I mean, I don't see. Listen, maybe I'm biased. Maybe I just sat there and enjoy it. I can't see any weaknesses or critiques or anything that I could give these movies. I think what they're doing are great. I'm entertained from beginning all the way to end. There's no prolonging of the story. And there's no prolonging of the
yeah,
pace. The movie just starts. The movie starts immediately with them racing, and then what's going on? Like, and I love that. And it goes straight into Shadow. It started off with Shadow, right? Like, there's
yeah, yeah,
no messing around. There's no, oh, we need to tell a big story. They're telling the story in such a great pace with a mixture of like action and Sonic's humor and Knuckles' humor and Tails' cuteness and Shadow's epicness and Jim Carrey just smashing it all the way. Like I don't see a pacing issue. I'm sitting there just thinking, what? The movie was done? Like that's it? Like it was that good. That for me personally. Um, I don't know. Do you see? I mean, look, maybe I'm just too biased. Do you see any room for improvement? Anything you'd like to see in the future from these movies?
To be honest, bro, they're just gonna get bigger and better. Like me as a, somebody said the other day, we're still critics, with the now age critics, and I'm like, I'm a fan, really and truly, because uh, listen, I think my only criticism is that we're still getting way too many characters, like Gunn and Christine's character. I don't think we really needed that, but it adds elements to the story that they needed to do because they're trying to get this big ship and the cards and the rest of it. I can understand that, but they didn't play a big part
Mm.
to make me actually
I
remember them.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I'm glad that they didn't spend too much time on them because that would have been a waste, I reckon. Like they
Yeah, yeah, no,
introduced them,
exactly.
they were there. I don't think they were meant to be, like a main part. It was just an introduction. Boom, that's it. Maybe they'll
Yeah.
show up more and give you more in the future. So I was cool with that. I'm cool with I think for some reason they're doing a great job. Just it seems so simplistic. Every movie they add a new character, like Tails, Knuckles, Shadow. And then this Hammer, what's this girl's name? What's her name again?
Amy.
Amy Rose.
Yeah.
And this formula works, bro, because like we're gonna see more Shadow in the next one. We'll get to know him. We'll get to know Tails and Knuckles a bit more. And now we're gonna
Yeah.
get to know possibly Amy Rose. Now, if they start doing more spin-off shows like they did with Knuckles, then it just kind of introduces to those characters. I think they're doing a great job with the number of characters, man. And Jim Carrey, I feel like his grandfather, I thought that was awesome. Rather than add another villain or just him just doing the same old thing, it's just another element of him playing Dr. Robotnik
In a
again
different format, right? In an
in a different
eviler
format.
format,
And
I
it's
gotta
him.
say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Listen, everybody's gonna have their own point of views and uh critiques about this. And I said, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of cinema. I'm a fan of film and animation and pop culture. I enjoy it for what it is. I can give, if you want to get grave detail about how bad the movie is and this didn't look well and the CGI. Listen, man, there are plenty of other people that do reviews like that, and praises to them because they're critiques. They want to break it down. They give you their honest opinion, and we're giving you our honest opinion on how I felt and how I feel about when I came out the cinema with that movie, and how loads of people felt the same way. So crazy, right?
Yeah,
Listen, it's a
definitely.
good fun movie. I'll leave it as that. I'm not going to say it made me feel great. Me and Nia laughed. I mean, so me and Alara laughed all the way through. For her to come out and be even more of a bigger fan, like I think since I've taken her to the screening, I think I've seen during December, end of December. I think it was like the middle of December. I've seen Sonic 1, 2, probably coming up to probably 100 times.
That's crazy. Well, number
It's on
three's
every
coming
day,
out.
twice a day, bro, twice a day. Sonic 1, Sonic 2.
Yeah, well, Sonic
During the
3's coming
holiday,
out hopefully July 21st, so you get to watch that too
I'll
again.
allow it, bro. Actually, you know what? They're fun because even they're those type of movies. That's going to be Alara's Back to the Future. That's going to
Mm.
be Alara's Back to the Future. That's going to be a trilogy she'll never forget. That's one of those movies where you can come into the middle of it and still enjoy it for what it is. You're going to see Dr. Robotnik do his belly dance and his little drug thing that he does with the what? It's a quill. It's a quill, right? No, a quill is from a feather.
Spike?
And
Isn't it a spike?
a spike. Here we go. Let's go. A spike. His little drug thing with the spike. If you watch it from the first movie to now, he still has the same sound that he did in the first one and reaction. Like, who does comedic timing as good as that? Like, listen, man, fun time.
Isn't
I
it?
laughed all the way
That
through.
little thing is a great take because he just loves power, doesn't he? He loves power. And just to get a taste of power, I think this is what
Yeah,
he's trying to do with that.
yeah, exactly. The taste
His
of
little taste
power.
of power. No, you're right. Listen, man. Listen, time is as we get older, time is the most valuable asset. It's a commodity, it's a thing that we never will ever get back. So I will never waste my time on doing a review criticizing something. Me personally, because I don't have that time. I would rather spend an hour here geeking out about this movie, which is what the podcast is always about, right?
Yeah.
And if we didn't enjoy the movie, then we probably wouldn't have done a full-on
I
review.
don't think, I
This
think moving
this
forward, it's not something we've ever done.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, look, when we do these reviews, it's on movies that we enjoyed. It genuinely made
Yeah,
us feel
yeah,
good. If it
exactly.
was like we wouldn't do a blockbuster movie just because of the sake of it was a blockbuster movie that just came out of cinema. If it made us feel good, let's do the review. If it didn't, let's just talk about it on the podcast. You know,
Yeah,
Craven is
yeah,
a
yeah,
perfect example, right? We
yeah,
just spoke about it on the podcast. But this movie, just nothing but joy sitting next to Idris, him laughing at Jim Carrey while I'm laughing at Jim Carrey. Just the age difference. 7-year-old,
yeah.
40-year-old. I grew up with Jim Carrey in his element. My 7-year-old nephew is loving it, laughing at him and his belly and whatnot. It just brought so much joy to see him enjoy it so much, man. And I thank Jim Carrey for that because it brings memories. When we do a retro movie review of this 40 years from now, when we're 8 years old doing a retro movie review for Sonic 3, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember I watched that with Idris and it brought back so much memories because he was so loud in the cinema. And I was like, Idris, man, chill. Like you get too excited and he's all over the place. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's what happens when we do our retro movie reviews. One day in the future, if this becomes a retro movie review for
It
us,
will be. It will be. It
we're
will be. Yeah,
gonna
that would
we're
be a
gonna
great
remember
memory.
these moments. We're gonna remember these moments, man. So listen, if you're a fan of the video game, of movies, just want to take your kids to the cinema, newcomers, this is a movie for all, man. Family movie, solo movie, kid movie, whatever it is, man. This is a fan for all. So highly recommend this movie. Um, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the digital release and watch it again. But on that
Yeah,
note,
same here.
that's our movie review, man. That's our review for Sonic 3, man. That is our form of expression for Sonic 3. Kid, why don't you
Definitely,
take
man.
us out, man?
Uh, Hold on. I was gonna take a quick picture. Hopefully, it comes through. There we go. I want to take a nice one with the microphone and the light. All right. I know that was in the middle of the review, but guys, massive, massive thank you as always. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got some amazing content for you guys. G-Man is smashing it. We've got some really cool stuff coming for you guys. I gotta say, man, like we just got an influx of new subscribers, which is amazing. But remember, there's still about 70% of you that watch the content and not subscribe. Why not? As always, make sure you follow us on our social media channels and click on the link below for all our social media channels and also donation links to Palestine as well. So massive, massive thank you for your support. I think 2024, towards the end of it, was a year of amazing growth that I can't thank you enough for. And I was just looking at the Spotify numbers as well. There was 84% of you listeners. 84% of you. We reached out to 84% extra listeners, which is absolutely amazing. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Amazing.
Honestly, like you guys sit there, watch us, listen to us making mistakes and butchering people's names and stuff.
Oh, I'm the worst.
Really, really, really grateful. So massive, massive thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed that review. If you guys want to see more reviews like this, click on that subscribe button, hit the bell button, and make sure you comment and let us know what you thought as well. What did you think of Sonic 3? Peace.
Peace.